Good morning, it's today again. Welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph, and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Right now, gold is getting back to over $4,500 an ounce, and is creating a real problem because purchasing an ounce of gold is now again pushing $4,800 and will soon get to $5,000. And for most people, that's just not realistic. So now everyone's asking a simple question: should I wait and save up for the full ounce, or should I start buying fractional gold right now? And the answer to that question, just like many other things, is it depends. So let's take a look at the two possibilities and see which fits better for you. Congratulations to John Mojerzajewski for being the first comment on my last video. Thank you for the support. Y'all go down into the comments and find him to start a conversation. Alright, so today in this video, we're going to be breaking down the possibility of buying fractional gold versus saving up for 1 ounce of gold. We're going to break this down in a practical way. Not just the math, not just what sounds good on paper, but what actually works in the real world. Of course, for a long time, 1 ounce gold was considered the best option, but fractional gold is exploding in popularity right now. We're also going to talk about a hidden cost that no one really seems to fully understand or talk about at all, and of course, how to decide what actually makes sense for you. Because the truth is, the decision has less to do with the gold itself and more to do with how you stack, how you think, and how you can stay consistent over time. Let's start with what most people will tell you right away. In a perfect world, the full ounce wins, and honestly, it's not even close. When you're buying a full ounce of gold, you're getting the most efficient form of ownership. You're paying the lowest premium over spot, you're consolidating more value into a smaller piece, and you're maximizing the amount of gold you get for every dollar you spend. And that's why when most people think of stacking gold, they think of the full 1 ounce bullion pieces. It's the standard, it's the benchmark. But if we compare that to fractional gold, let's say if gold's sitting around $4,500 an ounce, a 1/10 ounce gold coin, which has about $450 worth of gold in it, but you're paying a 10% premium, that's closer to $500, maybe even a little bit more. And that difference, that's the premium. And the smaller the coin gets, the higher the premium becomes. So when you buy 10 1/10 ounce coins, you're now at a full ounce of gold, and you've been likely paying way more than you would have if you just bought the 1 ounce coin outright. So from a purely mathematical standpoint, waiting, saving, and buying the full ounce is the most efficient way to stack. And if we stop the conversation right there, then there's your answer. But that's not how real life works, because nobody lives in a perfect world. Here's where things start to shift, because reality is most people are not buying $4,500 to $5,000 gold coins on a regular basis. Most people are working with a budget, maybe a few $100s a month, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, and they're trying to build something over time. So now the question changes. It's no longer what's the most efficient coin I can buy, and it becomes what's the most realistic way I can stay consistent. Because if it takes you 6 months or 8 months or a full year just to save up for one single coin, you're not really stacking at that point. You're just waiting. And waiting comes with a cost because you're sitting on the sidelines. The market doesn't stop. Gold doesn't pause. It doesn't wait for you to catch up, it keeps moving. And if you're not in the market, you're not participating in that movement. That's the part that most people don't think about. They are so focused on avoiding premiums that they forgot about the cost of being in the market at all. And that's where things get really interesting, because this is the part that almost nobody talks about: opportunity cost. Let's say you decide to be disciplined, you're going to wait, you're going to save, and you're going to do it the right way. Over the next 6 months, you're going to slowly build up enough cash to buy a full ounce. That sounds great, but what happens if gold moves during that time? What if it goes up 10%? Now that 1 ounce that you're planning on buying costs even more, and suddenly that premium you were trying to avoid doesn't matter anymore because the price itself moved against you. Meanwhile, someone else who was buying fractional gold the entire time might have picked up a 10th ounce gold coin every month. They paid a little more in premiums at the time, but they were consistently entering the market. So when gold moved, their holdings moved with it. In any case, they actually came out ahead, not because they made the most efficient decision, but because they made the most consistent one. And that's a completely different way of thinking about this. But let's take it even a step further, because there's another advantage to fractional gold that also doesn't get talked about enough: flexibility. When you own your full ounce gold, you're holding a large chunk of value in one single piece. And that's great for storage, it's great for efficiency, but it's not always great for control. Because if you ever need to sell, you don't have many options. It's all or nothing. You either sell the entire coin or you don't sell at all. But with fractional gold, you have choices. You own 10 smaller coins. You can sell one, two, three, and you can adjust that based on what you actually need. That level of control becomes more important over time, especially as gold prices rise. Because the higher gold goes, the larger that single ounce becomes in terms of value, and the harder it becomes to break into smaller pieces when you need it. Fractional gold solves that problem. And something that might actually be the most important part of this entire conversation is the psychology. Because stacking isn't just math. Stacking is behavior, it's discipline, it's habits over time. And this is where fractional gold has a massive advantage. Buying a full ounce feels like a big decision. It takes time, it takes a lot of commitment, and for a lot of people, that creates a little bit of hesitation. But buying a smaller coin, that feels manageable. It feels achievable, and more importantly, it's repeatable. And that repeatability is everything. Because stacking isn't about making the most perfect purchase, it's about building the habit. It's about showing up month after month and adding to your position. Even if it's small, even if it's not perfect, because over time, those small, consistent purchases add up. And more importantly, they keep you engaged. They keep you involved. They keep you moving forward. Whereas waiting often leads to doing nothing. And doing nothing is the worst strategy of all. So now we've broken all of this down, and let's simplify it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about one way being right than the other and the other being wrong. This is about what fits your situation. If you have the income and the discipline and the ability to save quickly into full ounces, then that makes a lot of sense. You'll get more gold for your money and you'll minimize premiums. You'll build your stack efficiently. But if you're working with a tighter budget or you want to stay consistently involved in the market, fractional gold might actually be the better strategy. Not because it's cheaper, not because it's more efficient, because in reality it's not, but because it keeps you in the game. And being in the game matters more than being perfect. Because at the end of the day, the best gold isn't the gold with the lowest premium. It's not the gold that looks the most impressive. It's the gold that you can actually afford to buy consistently over time. Because years from now, when you're looking back at your stack, you're going to think the same thing every veteran stacker is thinking today. No one is out there thinking, man, I wish I saved a little bit more on that premium when I bought this. What they're thinking is, I wish I started sooner. So now I want to hear from you. Are you stacking fractional gold right now, or are you waiting to buy a full ounce? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Share it if you know anyone that also might like it. Subscribe if you haven't already, but most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up, so no matter how small, just keep stacking. At subscribers' request, I just made my own line of coffee of Joseph's Reserves It's Today Again coffee that you can enjoy while watching my morning videos. Every morning is a gift. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not today. It's today again is a reminder that God has given us this day once more, with new mercy, new opportunity, and real work to be done. It's the moment to show up, build good habits, and take hold of what's been placed in front of us. Whether it's putting in the work, staying disciplined, saving consistently, or simply choosing to be faithful in the small things, today is where it starts. Encourage one another daily as long as it is called today. That's from Hebrews 3:13. So, take a breath, take a sip, and let's get to work. It's today again. You can now also write me at Joseph's Reserves 10160 Highway 242, Suite 800, number 401 in Conroe, Texas 77385. Make sure to include your mailing address so I can write you back. That is all for today, but if you'd like to stick around and see some more beautiful gold coins, by all means, stick around.